For 10 years, I worked in customer service with Coca-Cola Enterprises Belgium. Our team built a complaint department that was second to none in the industry. Afterwards, I drew on this experience to write a series of articles that was purchased by trade magazines in Belgium and the Netherlands, in which I explained step by step how to handle complaints and keep dissatisfied customers on board. Well, maybe there's still a future for me with the SuperCat Fast Ferry Corporation, as they can certainly use a lesson or two on customer satisfaction. On my last trip to the Philippines, I traveled from Cebu to Ormoc on the SuperCat, as I have done so many times in the past. This time I had such an unpleasant experience that I sent an email of complaint immediately upon arrival in Ormoc. It was a friendly, polite message in which I stated my dismay with something that happened during my crossing, which I found totally unacceptable. No aggressive or hostile language, just a plain statement of the facts. I will read it to you. Dear Madam, Sir, I have traveled on one of your vessels yesterday, March 7, 2025, Cebu Ormoc of 12:30, where I was seated on 9F. It was a smooth journey and overall I was pleased with the service and friendliness of the staff. However, I encountered one major problem. When I went to the men's room, I found it in an appalling state. The toilet bowl, lavabo and everything else was very dirty, including bugs on the wall, and there was no toilet paper, paper towels or soap. As I had to go for a bowel movement, I asked one of the ladies on duty if she had toilet paper. No toilet paper, sir. When I asked her if she had some table napkins, nothing, sir. Come on, they serve food, so they must have tissues. I asked her if she had any other sort of paper, even a newspaper. Nothing. She suggested to clean myself the Filipino way. Now I'm going to explain for those of you who are not familiar with the Philippines that Filipino people normally clean their butt using water and their hand. And then afterwards, of course, they wash their hands with soap, as I do, as you do, when we go to the toilet using toilet paper. So I'll continue. She suggested to clean myself the Filipino way. If I had done that, how would I have washed my hands afterwards? Without soap? I told her, sorry miss, I'm a foreigner, I cannot do that. At this point I got aggravated and expressed my disgust about the state of the sanitary equipment on board, and told her that I was going to email corporate management. I now realize I shouldn't have taken this out on the poor girl, because it was not her fault. The problem is probably way more up the corporate ladder. My problem was solved when a lady sitting next to me on the vessel gave me some facial tissues. I hurried back to the toilet, as by now I had developed diarrhea. I don't want to imagine what would have happened if this lady hadn't helped me out. No, I can imagine it would have been a very awkward and embarrassing situation, not only for me but also for my co-travelers. Continue. I paid 1,100 pesos for a ticket, plus all extra fees, taxes and tips, and expect amenities worth that price. I think SuperCat should comply with all hygienic regulations. Ironically, there was a poster above the lavabo saying that all passengers have to wash their hands after using the toilet. With what? I would appreciate if SuperCat management could address this issue and make sure that appropriate measures are taken to ensure passengers' sanitary comfort and hygiene. On March 21st, I will be going back to Cebu. I was planning to do this on the SuperCat, as I have always done, but now I am tempted to ask my friends for their experiences with OceanJet. Yeah, I asked them, and they told me that it was just as bad. I hope you will not dismiss me as another complaining foreigner, but use the information I supplied you with to improve your company's otherwise excellent services. I would appreciate your reply, but I never got one. I know from experience that there is often no toilet paper in public toilets in the Philippines because people just steal it. But usually you can buy some sheets of toilet paper at the entrance of the sanitary facilities. When I go out in the Philippines, I always have some toilet paper or wet wipes in my pocket. But I had only just arrived and I hadn't been shopping yet. The lesson I have learned from this is that next time I will already carry toilet paper with me when leaving Belgium. I overlooked that because I'm so used to toilet paper, paper towels and soap being freely available in every public toilet in my home country. After the break, I will tell you what happened on my return trip. And I can already tell you, it's not getting any better. Hey, you are still watching. Does that mean you like this video? Because if you do, why not give me a thumbs up? Or even better, subscribe if you haven't done so already. You know it is free. And if you'd like to share your thoughts or experiences, that's what the comment section is for. But please keep it constructive. And now, without further ado, I will let you continue watching. When my vacation in Ormoc was over, and I had to travel back to Cebu, I once again took the SuperCat for lack of other options. This time I booked a seat in business class, which is not so much more expensive. For a few euros extra, I got myself a seat in what I expected to be the comfort of business class. Now we come to the funny part of the story. Funny for my viewers, but not for me when I experienced it. There were only 25 seats in business class, and they offered some more legroom. Apart from that, they were the same seats as in tourist class. Fine by me. A friendly attendant showed me to my seat. I sat down, leaned back and almost fell down. I tried to put the back of the seat upright again, but that didn't work. I said, "The back of this seat is broken, sir." The attendant said, "No problem, sir. Business class is never full. As soon as everyone has boarded, you can pick any seat you like. Fair enough. I waited until everyone else had taken their seat. As it turned out, there was only one other passenger in business class. So I tried some other seats. Two of them also had broken backs. But in the end, I found myself a seat with a back that properly reclined and could be put back in upright position. When the vessel had pulled out of the harbour, the attendant came back and asked if I wanted something to eat or drink. Yes, please. I ordered a can of Royal, which is the Filipino brand name for Fanta, and a sandwich. I believe it was a chicken sandwich. I don't remember it so well. Before the man left to get my order, I wanted to pull down my tray table, only to notice that there was none. There were 2 holes where the screws had been, but no tray table. I said, "Sir, there's no tray table." "No, sir, it's broken." I looked around and saw that none of the seats had tray tables. "Where are all the tray tables?" I inquired. "They're all broken, sir." It was as simple as that. They were all broken and therefore removed, not replaced. They'd probably do that some other time. No tray tables in business class. The fun part came when the attendant arrived with my order. He gave the can of Royal in my left hand and the sandwich, which was packed in a transparent plastic box, in my right hand. Of course, I needed 2 hands to open the can and 2 hands to open the box. So, practically speaking, I was short of 2 hands. I looked up at the attendant and said, "Now what?" Still holding these 2 things. He said, "Just put it on the floor, sir." I said, "Right." And I put it on the floor. On my trip from Cebu to Ormoc, I had traveled tourist class, and all seats had tray tables. Going back to Cebu, I had paid extra for the privilege of placing my meal on the floor. Could it get any worse? Well, maybe. Because I hadn't checked out the business class toilet yet. In any case, I had toilet paper in my back pocket, as I didn't want to go through that experience again. After a while, my 33 centiliters of Royal had found their way through my intestines to my bladder. But by that time, we had entered into moderately rough waters. I say moderately because I have experienced worse weather conditions in the past. I tried to keep it up until we entered the calmer waters of Cebu Harbor area, but that was still too far, and a little bit later I really had to pee. So I got up from my seat and wobbled to the toilet, holding on to the vacant seats on my way. I opened the toilet door and went inside. Now, let's be clear. When I booked a business class ticket, I wasn't expecting marble washing tables and golden faucets. But I was hoping to find a restroom in a slightly better condition than in tourist class. Well, I didn't see any roaches this time, but soap, paper towels, and toilet paper were just as absent, and the cleanest thing in this closet was my own you-know-what, which I carefully sanitized twice daily. So sitting down on the toilet was not an option. Neither was peeing while standing up in front of the toilet, as we guys usually do, because the rolling of the ship was sure to put me off target. After some strategic thinking, I decided to put one foot to the left of the toilet and the other one to the right, so that the toilet bowl was not in front of me, but underneath. Then I leaned my right shoulder and knee against the wall, which automatically decreased the altitude of my you-know-what, and I pushed my left foot against the left wall for stability. Man, this was as stable as it was going to get. But I was fully aware of the fact that a sudden strong wave could still put me off balance. I decided that I was going to take the risk. I took out my equipment and pointed it at my target, which was at 6 o'clock. Ready, aim, fire. Believe it or not, everything hit target and there was no collateral damage. I can't wait for Ormok Airport to reopen so that I can fly in instead of taking the SuperCat. To the management of the SuperCat Fast Ferry Corporation, who will be receiving a link to this video, I would like to say, guys, get your act together. Defective seats need repair, and so do broken tray tables. You don't solve the problem by removing them. Sanitary facilities should be cleaned and toilet paper, soap, paper towels should be replenished after every trip. Public hygiene is a top priority that you cannot save on. And, oh, by the way, not replying to a complaint is just downright rude. I hope this video was helpful to those traveling on fast ferries, and as always, comments and suggestions are welcome in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you like watching Ormok Revisited, you may also fancy my other series, 7 Amazing Tales of the Philippines and the Expat Files. Or maybe you are more interested in my videos about Europe. You can find all of these on Homebase Belgium. Be happy, stay healthy and enjoy life.